Welcome back to all of our amazing Dance for Kindness veteran group leaders. Orly Waba here, and I just want to thank each and every one of you again for trusting in this organization, for putting yourselves out there, for agreeing to come on board for another spectacular, amazing year, because you guys are what makes this event come to life. You guys are what make this event possible. So I want to thank you. I know that normally you guys receive the behind the scenes group leader video that's about an hour and 40 minutes. But since each and every one of you are veteran group leaders, and reading through some of the feedback from some of you sharing that you don't want to have to go through the same process over and over, therefore I've created this much shorter video where I'm only going to introduce some of the new aspects of the event that you wouldn't necessarily know about. Now, for those of you that do want to get a bit of a refresher on what happens once dance registration goes live, or what you can find in your Google folder, what you can find in your Dropbox folder, and all the other details. If you are interested and want a sort of refresher on that, you're more than welcome to go through the behind the scenes tutorial video. In this email, you'll have a link to the full video. Again, it's not mandatory that you watch it. You'll have a link to the video, and you'll have a link to a document that works in conjunction with the video it breaks down the video into sections so that you can watch each section as it is. So that's not a problem. You're more than welcome to do that. But what I'm planning to do, what I'd like to do on this video right now, and to make it really as short as I can, is to go through some of the new aspects of Dance for Kindness for this year, as well as just give you guys a bit of updates about what's going on with LifeVestInside. So without further ado, here we go. Number one, over the course of this year, been working a lot on sort of the foundational aspects of the organization. As you guys know, Dance for Kindness is one event, but it's really part of something much greater. It's part of the organization, LifeVestInside. Now, some of you know a lot about the organization, have been following through the entire time with what's going on, with what are some of the new developments, and some of you maybe not as much. Even those of you that have been following along, there has been a lot that we've not yet had the opportunity to get out there. I've been working over the course of the past few months on a redesign of the LifeVestInside website so that it's much more easy to navigate, and it also provides users with a much broader sense of what the organization is doing and ways in which they can get involved. Recently, I put out an amazing brochure that goes through all of the different initiatives of the organization, as well as the resources that we provide. I'm going to put a link to that brochure in this email. Why? I'd like for each and every one of you to read through it. It's not a very long document, but what it's going to do, it's going to equip you with the knowledge and understanding of what the bigger purpose is. Dance for Kindness isn't just about a dance, it's about something much greater than that. And by reading through this brochure, you're going to have a much greater sense about the organization that you're working for, that you are a part of, that you are making come into fruition. And so I want you guys to understand that, because the more you do, then the engagement and the interactions that you're gonna have with others, the conversation with getting people excited to take part in the event, or getting people to potentially donate to the cause, or getting sponsorship for the cause, or in-kind contributions, or whatever it is, you are now going to be equipped with so much more knowledge so that you can explain why you're doing this. It's not just about a dance. So please take the time to read through it. And once you do, if you have questions, concerns, something that really sort of sticks out to you that you want to get involved further in, you're like, wow, I didn't know that you did this. I want to be a part of this. Reach out to me. That is the purpose of this. LifeVestInside, we're a small team, guys. I am a volunteer for the organization. We don't have any employees. It's run, literally it's run on the heart and soul of people that want to make an impact and a change in the world. And if that is you, and obviously it is you because you're doing this, but if you want to get even further involved, I want to encourage you to do so. I'm happy to welcome you with open arms. So please be sure to go through that. Now, with this year's Dance for Kindness, I do want to mention something that's really important that I mentioned from the very beginning. One of the biggest strains over the past 2 years, I would say, is the follow-through with group leaders. What do I mean by that? Guys, you're all spectacular. You're awesome. You're putting in all of this work without getting any sort of monetary compensation, but we're getting all something tremendously back, myself included. But it's really important that when you sign up and you're coming on board as a group leader, that you're doing so and understanding that there is a process. As you know, we start this process in the summer. And it doesn't end on the day of Dance for Kindness. It takes about another month and change after that to really wrap up. I'm gonna encourage you, and I wanna say this from now, it's important that I say it. It's been really hard the past couple of years being able to get things from group leaders after the event is over, being able to clean up after the party is done and everyone had the best time. It's really tough when it's just myself and Erin that are working to be able to get stuff back from you guys. We need you to be able to be responsive. So I'm asking you, before you officially come on board this year, ask yourself, am I willing to stay after the party is over and help clean up? Now again, I'm not referring to all of you because some of you have really come through right away and been on the ball with hitting deadlines. But for some people, it's been very difficult to even get a response back from them via email. So I'm asking you to be really mindful of these things going forward into Dance for Kindness. I need your help. I can't do it alone. It's not possible. For those of you maybe group leaders that want to come on board, and also in a managerial role where you're helping me to be able to reach out to other group leaders, let me know that as well, but we'll discuss that more on the call. Okay, moving on to the next thing, how we're making this year's event more meaningful. Now, one of the things that I've been hearing from some people is we're wanting to make an impact globally, and I think reading through the brochure, you're going to understand why this organization is so important and why we collect a registration fee. And it's not, I don't even want to call it registration fee anymore, guys. I want to call it a gift. It's a gift. For dance registration, right? People give a certain amount that they're contributing. $5, $10, they're giving a certain amount. And this year it's going to be a $10 amount when people are going to register. They're going to give a gift. Why are they giving this gift? Because it helps the organization be able to continue doing what we're doing. And what we're doing isn't just Dance for Kindness. It's only a part of the story. And that's where the brochure comes into play that you're going to take a look at and read so you can answer those questions. But what I mean by making this year's event more meaningful is I also wanted to give back into your own local communities. Sure, LifeVestInside is a global organization, but you guys are on the ground in each of your cities. That's why when you applied this year, you were asked the question of a nonprofit in your local area that you're really passionate about and what their mission is. The reason we asked you this question, for those of you that read through the handbook, is because this year what we're looking to do is we're looking to give back also locally. 10% of all the money raised from your city is going to go to a local nonprofit in your city. Our objective is that on the day of Dance for Kindness this year, on World Kindness Day, LifeVestInside will be writing out checks, donation checks, to hundreds of nonprofits around the world. But we need your help. So how does it work? Well, obviously, the more that you're gonna wanna do this, the more funds are gonna be able to be raised for local nonprofits in your city. Now, how are funds raised? Through registration fee. Anytime somebody comes, and again, I'm gonna just change the terminology to call it a gift. Anytime somebody registers, that money is included. If when they register, they also purchase merchandise, because this year, we're gonna give them the option to do that like we did 2 years ago. The merchandise this year is going to be shipped directly from the LVI offices. The quality is gonna be way, way better. Not like last year's. We wanted to go through a third party last year through Zazzle, and it really did not work out. I tried it out because I thought it would be easier. It did not work out. And so this year we're gonna revert back to it going through LifeVestInside. But when somebody registers for the event and they make a purchase of merchandise, that's also counted. That money is also counted towards the money raised by your city. In addition, you're more than welcome to run fundraisers, to be able to raise funds to help cover the cost of your event, and also raise funds through sponsorship. Now I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna try and give you sort of an overview of what this is. If you want a little bit more details and actually to see the deck, then I recommend you take a look at this portion of the behind the scenes tutorial video. So what we're doing is we're providing a service to companies and stores and shops around the world that want to celebrate World Kindness Day, that want to show their commitment to a kinder world. And so what we're doing is creating a different sponsorship model that I want to introduce to you guys that you could potentially utilize in your own cities to help raise further funds for the organization and for your own local organization. So the example that I'm going to give you is, I'm going to take Starbucks, okay? I'm going to use their company as an example. Starbucks is a coffee company. They have shops and people, and they come in and buy coffee from their company. So what are one of the things that we're doing? We're going to be approaching companies, let's say like a Starbucks, and we say to them, hey, what about you guys celebrating World Kindness Day? How'd you like to be a part of that? And what we do is we're asking them, would they like to donate $1 for every cup of coffee that they sell, over the week of World Kindness Week, or the day of Dance for Kindness, or the month of World Kindness Month. And that money is going to go towards LifeVestInside Global, and 10% from that funds is going to go to a local nonprofit in the area. Now, what does that do for them? It provides them with an amazing marketing campaign that they can now show, here's how we celebrate kindness. Here is how we, as a company, as an organization, as a store, show our commitment to kindness. We're going to donate $1 of every sales, or X percentage of every sales, whatever it may be, whatever model that shop would like to be, to LifeVestInside. And then we provide them with these marketing materials that then they can utilize. Now, who am I telling you to reach out to? I'm not telling you to reach out to a Starbucks or a global brand, unless you have connections with a global brand, and in that case, you can reach out to me and we could discuss it together. But there are local stores in your city, stores that you shop at, stores that you have a relationship with. You have now an opportunity to go into those shops, places that know who you are, and say, hey, I'm a part of this event. It's called Dance for Kindness. It's run by a nonprofit organization called LifeVestInside. They are the global leader in the kindness movement. They're looking to inspire change, and here's how they're doing it. And that's why you have the brochure. Would you like to celebrate World Kindness Day? How amazing would it be if your company, if your store could say that they're celebrating World Kindness Day by donating X dollar or X percent of money that is made in your shop that day or that week or that month, based on what you feel comfortable asking for. They will likely, if you're passionate about what you're doing and you explain to them why you're raising these funds and letting them know that not only is it going to a global cause that is spreading kindness worldwide, but also funds from that are going to go locally to a nonprofit in your city. And you tell them what that nonprofit is. The likelihood is they're going to want to get involved. This is a really great model for sponsorship this year that we're trying out, and I think that you'll find a lot of success with it. Maybe what I'm saying right now over the video isn't so clear, but not to worry. I included a sponsorship deck, a sample deck, in the Dropbox folder. And like I said, if you'd like a little bit more details, you could look at that specific section within the behind the scenes tutorial. In addition, we're going to be on a Skype call together, so you're more than welcome to ask me any questions. Why are we having you do this? Those funds that sponsor or that store or organization is going to give is going to come all back to LifeVestInside Global, because they have to write it out to the nonprofit. Now, LifeVestInside then is going to account that money with the money raised from registration, all that money, and 10% is going to go to a nonprofit in your city. You are going to be the one that is physically going to be able to go to that nonprofit and say, hi, I volunteer for an organization called LifeVestInside. It's all about spreading kindness, and you are the organization that we chose. We'd love to give you this check. It's a really great feeling to be able to do that. I sort of using this model because prior to this, we were giving 10% of all funds we raised to a different nonprofit. And I got to tell you, a few years ago, when I wrote out that check for $10,000 to the Pay It Forward Foundation, it made me feel spectacular. Because even as a nonprofit, even though we don't have large funds, to be able to give money to another organization is an amazing thing, because it's helping them, fulfill their mission as well. And that's part of building a kinder world. I hope you understood this model. Again, like I said, I will go over this with you further on the call. Moving on to the next thing. How else are we looking to make this event really meaningful? Now, each and every one of you are a veteran group leader. Now, whether you're a veteran group leader of 1 year or whether you're a veteran group leader of 6 years, you've all organized this event in the past, which will make it significantly easier to organize it again this year. Now, that being said, and this is not mandatory what I'm about to say, but I want each and every one of you guys to think about how you can take your event to the next level. My goal with Dance for Kindness, my long-term goal, is that it's not just about, we're not just going to do the dance itself and the freeze mob and the flash mob, but we're also going to incorporate some sort of kindness activity into the day. Now, some of you have already done that. I've done it as well in my location, but my objective is that this is going to be done in even more locations. So I want you to think, what is a way that you can bring more meaning to your event? And I'm going to give you a few ideas and suggestions, and we will discuss it together on the call, only if you feel comfortable. I do not want this to come off as being mandatory in any way. So, for example, one of the ways that you might want to make it more meaningful, right? And some of you guys have done this in the past. You make an after party where you bring all the people that took part in your event together, because that creates connections. And at the end of the day, we're looking to create connectivity. But how can we bring more meaning than just doing an after party? Well, maybe there is a specific need in your city. Maybe there is a need to clean up graffiti, or there's a need to clean a park, or there's a need to in a soup kitchen, or with homelessness, or with an orphanage. You're going to look at what are those organizations that you really love. Maybe it's the organization that you choose to give back to. That could actually be a really good idea. So if you, for example, have chosen to give back to a soup kitchen in your area, then what you might want to do is work on creating an activity that day that is with the soup kitchen. You have all these volunteers joining you for that day, whether it's 5 people, 50 people, or 500 people, or 5,000 people. You have a lot of people taking part with you. You have the opportunity to move them into action, to springboard them into action. So maybe you organize an activity where you are all going to the soup kitchen and volunteering your time. Could be something like that. Maybe you want to create a fair where you have different nonprofits in your city and each of them have a booth, and you allow your volunteers to get to learn more about each of the nonprofits and see how they could get further involved. That's another idea. One idea that I'm looking also to incorporate into my event, there's an organization, or it's a group that has recently come about. I cannot pronounce their name properly, but I will send it to you. They're called something like Kul Olam. They're here in Israel. I don't know if they're global, but what do they do? And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is something I wanted to incorporate with Dance for Kindness, and I think it could be spectacular. What they do is they gather a group of people and they teach them a song together. That's it. They gather a group of people, they teach them a song. It takes them about an hour to teach the song. And then after they do that, everyone sings it together and they record it, and it's like amazing. Well, we also have a song. We have our freeze mob song and we have our flash mob song. I always say this in the dance tutorial practice videos, but it's always more fun to dance to something when you know the words that you're dancing to, when they've actually had meaning in your heart. So one of the things I'm looking to do this year, and something that I can encourage you guys to do, perhaps reach out to local artists in your area. A musician, doesn't have to be a famous musician. It could just be anyone, right? That has the energy and the passion, the excitement. And you can make your event even longer by, before the event happens, before the dance happens, or it could be even after. You gather everybody together, people in the area, the participants, and just people in the area, and you teach them the song. You teach them how to sing the song for the flash mob or for the freeze mob or for both, whatever it may be. You're gonna pass out sheets. You would have to have sheets with the lyrics. And then after that time, that teaching time, everyone is gonna sing the song together. There's a way that they do this. I'm gonna try and find out the exact sort of process in which they do this, because I'm sure that they break them, depending on how many people, they probably break them down into smaller groups to teach them the song. But that could be really cool. Again, what's the purpose of me sharing some of these ideas? To encourage you to see now that you've gotten the event down, you know what location you're doing it at, you know how to promote it, so on and so forth. Let's infuse a little bit more meaning. And also, let's think of additional ways that we can bring more people involved and on board. Reaching out to schools, reaching out to universities, reaching out to dance studios, or yoga studios, or Zumba studios. Places where people love to come and dance, that they already have this connection with this amazing feeling and spirit of what happens when we are involved in an exercise together, to make your event even bigger. Because what we want to be doing each year is we want to continuously be expanding. Okay, so this is something I want you guys to think about as you're working towards making your event come into fruition. Now, something else I'm going to chat with you about real briefly, but we'll talk more about it on the call, is a lot of you guys have expressed in the feedback, some of you, I asked the question of how much you spent on organizing your event. Some of you wrote no money, some of you spent a little money, and some of you spent a lot of money. And I want to address this right now because I think it's important. There's a way, and if you read through the handbook, and by the way, guys, I know you're veteran leaders, I need you to read through the handbook. There's a lot of information in there that's vital, that would actually help you, but unless you read through the handbook, and I know it's long, it's not going to help you. So what am I talking about? There are many tips and suggestions in the handbook of things you can do that you don't have to spend that money. So for example, some of you are telling me you had to spend a lot of money for the location. You shouldn't have to do that. If you approach the location, and I don't mean sending an email, when you personally go somewhere and you talk to a human being and you explain to them what you're doing and you let them know that there is no funds for this, they're more likely to be able to help you out. So just keep that in mind. If a location is costing you a significant amount of money, choose a different location or find a way to connect with the people to be able to get it without having to pay. But there are ways of finding things that you don't have to take money out of your pocket. The other thing, videographers, photographers, guys, we don't necessarily need to go and hire someone to do this. In some cases, we might need to, but I could tell you that if you go into, if you speak to your friends and share with them what they're doing, someone is gonna know someone is gonna know someone that would want to volunteer their time. Now, the good thing is they could use it as a tax write-off. If they charge a certain amount, but they're gonna give it to you for free, they can receive a tax-deductible donation from the organization showing that they gave of their time for free to do this event. And they can utilize that in their tax documentation. In addition, schools, universities, film schools, in your communities, in your cities, there are loads of people that would love to be able to give back to an organization that is spreading kindness, and it's a nonprofit organization. You just need to reach out and ask. So that's something I want to encourage you to do. Finding ways to get the things you need without having to put out that money. There are people out there that want to be a part of something good. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And you as a leader give them that opportunity because you provide them with a means and a pathway to do so. So I encourage you to do that, okay? Finally, again, with anything, this goes with sound production, it goes for merchandise. If you want to find somebody to help sponsor all orange things or merchandise, whatever it may be, and we'll discuss that further on the call about merchandise because there's a lot more details there that I don't want to discuss on this video. There are ways to get those kinds of things for free. Even if you want to give to your participants some sort of a gift, or you want to have water there, or you want to have snacks there, if you go into places and you let them know what you're doing, they would be happy to be a contributing factor. So don't take that don't take that for granted. Take advantage of it. Okay. That's basically all of the details that I wanted to discuss with you on this video. I'm just taking a look at my notes here to see. On our call, we'll discuss further. I'll be able to answer any additional questions you have. But like I said, feel free to look at the tutorial video if you'd like some more details. I'm really looking forward to having you guys on board again and being a part of doing something really great. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your energy. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you again this year. Here's to another amazing year of kindness. I love you guys very much. Bye.